Hi there, everyone. All right, let's talk about how to exercise for fat loss and wellness in your 40s. Step 2, do less cardio. Step 1 was prioritize rest. And if that blows your mind, then be sure to check out my IGTV or my Facebook Live or my blog post about why you need to prioritize rest when you're trying to exercise to burn fat and get well, especially in your 40s. So, why would I say step 2 is do less cardio? It kind of connects with step 1. Here's the big picture. When you use high intensity cardio, your body does a lot of great wellness work and it burns fat. But when you overuse it, things go wrong. It's like all the benefits of high intensity cardio turn into detriments. So instead of burning fat and strengthening your muscles and increasing your cardiovascular health, balancing your blood sugar and hormones, all the opposite starts to happen. And the truth that I've been able to sift through and figure out is when we're in our 40s, the amount of high intensity cardio we need really decreases. Now, it probably will not come as a surprise to you, especially women, that there's not a ton of research about us in our 40s and what we need to be healthy when we exercise. But let's keep this positive. What I have sifted through, what I have learned as a Faster Way to Fat Loss coach and Faster Way to Fat Loss client for 1.5 years now, is that we can use high intensity cardio. We can use it in small amounts and we can balance it out. We can add in other forms of exercise that are going to keep us really well and keep us burning fat and get us out of the plateau or out of that space where we're stuck feeling unwell and watching ourselves gain weight or belly fat, even though we are at the gym. And by we, I mean me and all those ladies who I was at the gym with for all those hours, all through my early 40s and late 30s. And we still have all the belly fat and our joints are starting to hurt and our feet are aching and our skin is dry and our hair is falling out and we can't sleep at night. All those symptoms of unwellness and not burning fat anymore. So one of the big pieces in play here is our hormones. And like I always say, our hormones are not just for when we have teenage crushes. They are part of our life and every cell we've got every day. Every time we eat, the master hormone, insulin, comes into play. And once you know it, overdoing the intense cardio puts our insulin out of balance. And when our insulin's out of balance, because it's the master hormone, every other hormone we've got on board doing every job in our body gets out of balance. So remember I mentioned cortisol. Cortisol is what we call a stress hormone and we need it. It's super important. But when we are overdoing the intense cardio and we also have other stress in our life, things get crazy. Like if you're old enough to remember the Jerry Springer show and the dysfunctional relationships and all the craziness, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about cortisol and our other hormones when the cortisol is out of balance. When cortisol and our other hormones are working together really well, amazing things happen in our body. Our metabolism is regulated because cortisol is a big player in metabolism regulation. Our blood sugar, great. But when it's out of whack, things go awry and you start to feel it in your 40s, you guys. We could get away with a lot of stuff when we were younger, but you hit that 35 time and it's totally normal. It is what usually happens that our hormones all start to just decline in production. It's just part of aging. And when you finally hit 40, that decline of all the hormones, including stress hormones, sex hormones, everything we've got on board, can just start to make us feel symptoms if anything else is out of whack. And if we're over-exercising and under-eating and have a lot of unmanaged stress in our life, like we all do, what else? Not getting enough sleep, all of those make our bodies make a lot of cortisol, a lot of stress hormone, and we just start to feel the consequences. So one piece you can put into place is starting to understand how to use a small amount of high intensity cardio, and then layer on some what we might call lower intensity cardio or moderate intensity cardio, and then layer on weightlifting. Also a little dash of core training, core strength training, or balance training, and stability training, what you might think of as yoga. So that we're just giving our bodies the best fighting chance we can to be well and to burn fat. Because when we're burning fat, we're working on wellness. When we are well, we can be the 40-somethings that this world desperately needs. We have so much wisdom. We have so many talents. We have learned to juggle all the things. The world needs us to feel as well as we can and have all the energy we can so that we can fulfill our purpose. We are truly our most important project. So I just finished a blog post and put it live on my blog with very specific numbers and percentages, as well as a link to the Mayo Clinic's website where you can look at how do you determine what is your maximum heart rate so that you can then say, okay, this is high intensity cardio for me. And you could invest, I highly recommend this, I'm going to do it for myself, in a fitness tracker that would let you have a picture of your heart rate. So you can know when you're working in that 70 to 85% of your maximum heart rate range, which is high intensity cardio. And then you can keep that to under 50 minutes a week total. So if you were in the Faster Way to Fat Loss with me, where, like I said, I'm a coach and a client, you're kind of there. We use high intensity interval training 2 days a week back to back with a good rest in between of a good night's sleep and a refueling with food. And we keep it really with the time our heart rate is in that 70 to 85% of our maximum heart rate range. We're right there where they want us to be with the latest research on how to use high intensity cardio safely around that 40 to 50 minute a week mark. Then we do what is recommended. We layer in strength training a minimum of 2 times a week, and we're actually up there at 3. And it's really fun and makes you really feel good. And I'll talk more about it tomorrow, because when you take away your minutes of intense cardio, you all of a sudden find time that you could do other things with. And those other things could be weightlifting. And weightlifting releases the opposite of cortisol. It releases a stress-reducing hormone. It makes you feel really good, but we'll get there tomorrow. So you add on, like we do in the Faster Way, 2 or 3 days of strength training where you're lifting heavy weights. And you are getting your heart rate into a moderate cardio zone. And it is safe to be there for more than that 40 or 50 minutes a week, to be in that moderate zone. And again, use the link in my blog post from the Mayo Clinic to see what is that number for you. What is that for you? Then, like we do in the Faster Way, we have 2 rest and recovery days built in. So during that time, that's when we're doing our core and stability training, our balance training, maybe in the form of yoga or some other class that's going to keep your heart rate at a very, not too much higher than your resting heart rate kind of zone, where you could have a conversation really easily and not be trying to catch your breath. That zone, it's going to keep you there. And you're going to sprinkle that in. We're talking 1 or 2 days a week of that type of exercise. The big conclusion I came to in my blog post, and as I've been a Faster Way to Fat Loss client, using this kind of exercise for 1.5 years to burn fat and get very well and have very balanced hormones, even though I started overweight, not burning fat, and very unwell, and had unbalanced hormones. What I've figured out during that time is that this is kind of a hard pill to swallow at first, but it's a life lesson you're ready for when you're almost 40. Balance. Balance is the key. So if you are killing it in the gym, you're kind of killing yourself. You're killing your energy. You're killing your ability to burn fat. And it's time to switch gears to the balance gear, where you do kill it in the gym like this much, but then you need to layer on other pieces of the puzzle that are going to let you have lower cortisol, lower stress hormone, and then your body will say, it's safe to burn fat. Too much cortisol sends the signal to your body that there's trouble. And our bodies, in times of trouble, what do? Hold on to the fat. It's our emergency storage for trouble times. Our body's just trying to keep us alive. So when you get that balance with just a touch of high intensity cardio, keeping it under that 50-minute a week mark, and then you're layering on your moderate intensity cardio and doing your weightlifting and your core stability, balance, flexibility training that you sprinkle on one or two, one time a week, all good. Then you're finding more and more balance, and you will start to feel more and more balanced because your hormones and all that they do in your body will be more and more balanced even as you are aging. And I should say, especially as you're aging, because like I started off saying, once you hit around 35, it is the normal, I don't have a better word than that. It is the typical cascade of events of aging that all of your hormones are changing, and many of them are declining in their production. So you are already going to feel symptoms of hormone change and possible hormone imbalance. So I will put a link in the comments to my blog. Let me know what you figure out about what your current program looks like and how you're going to balance it out. Let us know in the comments. You can give yourself some accountability for doing that. And let me know what color fitness tracker, what brand are you going to go with? Because I am looking for ideas. I've got to take action. I've got to make that my action step to get that fitness tracker, just to have a little extra data and accountability for my own progress. Because I'll wrap up with saying one other piece, and I had a great reminder from my Faster Way clients, and as a Faster Way client myself a few months ago, when we had our own movement challenge. The beauty of having that fitness tracker, not only would it let you have more insight into when you're using different intensities of heart rate in your exercise, it also lets you see how are you doing with the time, the whole huge big chunk of your day when you're not exercising. How much are you moving? So all the great workout plans in the world for 1 hour a day-ish, 5 days a week, 6 days a week-ish, only adds up to 5 or 6 hours a week. What about all that other time? Your fitness tracker will make sure you're getting in those steps and doing all the extra movement. So again, pop in the comments, get over to the blog where you can research what intensities of heart rate you are using. You can plan out your balanced workout and start feeling the fat loss and feeling the wellness. And you can give me your recommendations on fitness trackers. All right, I will check in with y'all soon. Remember, you can find tomorrow some more info on lifting heavy weights.